Welcome to Real Conversations with Patricia Baranovsky-Schneider, the podcast that takes you on a journey around the world to meet some of the most inspiring and accomplished individuals. Discover their stories, uncover invaluable business lessons from their paths to success, and gain exclusive insights on how to apply their strategies to elevate your life and business.
Hello, and welcome to Real Conversations with Patricia. I'm your host, Patty Baranowski-Schneider. Today, I'm joined by Nishikant Kothikar, a highly accomplished commercial business leader with over 3 decades of result-driven experience in business setup, development, sales, and marketing. So welcome, Nishi. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Nishikant, as Patricia said. Around 30 plus years of experience in corporate world, but the heart is in education, obviously. So I got my own academic venture in UK. We also expanded it to Southeast Asia and India now. We also got another setup in IT because education has given the exposure to IT development and all. And then we also have a recruitment company and the event company. So you can call me that I'm a serial entrepreneur right now.
Jack of all trades, really. You're a busy man.
Thank you.
Nice. Now, I guess, can you share with us what inspired you to create PowerVocabulary and how it fits into your overall mission of Champs Learning?
Yes. In Champs Learning, basically, we are focusing on generating interest of a student in learning. Because if the student is interested in learning, then the education becomes simpler to provide. And that's where I personally firmly believe that the knowledge increases with reading.
Right.
And reading is simpler if you know the words. And for the words, you need to know the meaning.
Right.
So what to do? So, and when I was preparing for my GRE, which is the entrance exam for most of the US colleges,
Okay.
we used to refer to a book called Barron's Guide. Thousands of words. And we used to just memorize. And that never worked because after a few years, we don't remember most of those words because we just memorize. But one of the day, one teacher told me that why don't you remember with a personality? And he gave me an example called ambidextrous.
Right.
And I didn't know the meaning of ambidextrous. He said, oh, look at this young cricketer who is very famous. He plays with the right hand, but eats with the left hand. That ability is called ambidextrous.
Right.
And then it stuck into my head that, okay, visuals are associating with something, then you can memorize the words better.
Right.
And that's where then PowerVocabulary actually got conceived. That, okay, if visual memorization technique can be used, then students can understand the words better and remember words better. That's where.
No, I agree with you 100%. Like, even when I went to school, I was in Catholic school, they were super strict, and you had, it's funny when I see kids today, it's like what they have to do for a month worth of work, we had to do per week. I mean, we just had so much, and you had to pass, you had to get 100. So you're just forced on, studying just to pass the test. But there was nothing interesting enough to make us want to learn it. But like, I remember, I think it was in 2nd grade when they taught us like all the planets. And they came up with these acronyms, but you visualize it. You're 100% right. So to this day, anytime tells me which planet is next to it, I just remember that. But everything else I learned in school, once I passed the test, it wasn't interesting enough or understood it enough in a way that made me absorb it and keep it. So I agree 100%.
Yes.
So now tell us, what makes PowerVocabulary different from other vocabulary building tools out there? And what key features do you think sets it apart?
Okay, in PowerVocabulary, what we made is different is that, as I said, my focus is in generating interest in reading the books.
Right.
So what we did, we picked up 8 classic books, not the adventure books or horror books, but 8 classic books. And we associated each module with one of the chapter from one book.
Okay.
And what we do, we have given the pictorial or visual representation for most of the words. So when they read the first chapter, they remember these words. On that first chapter, then we have a comprehension exercise. So we make them compulsory that, okay, whatever they have read, they have to apply.
Yeah.
At the end of the book, we do a fun assessment with flashcards and all that on those 20, 30 words from the chapter.
Right.
So that's where I think we make a big difference to the learning of vocabulary compared to other products in the market.
No, it totally makes sense. I agree with this 100, because even with little kids, I see with my grandkids, they're with visuals, they can pick up stuff so much faster than if you just tell them and show them, like even the YouTube videos and whatnot, that there's a lot of learning ones on there. But the ones that make it visual and fun and interactive are the ones that they remember. But if you
Yes.
just tell them, read a book, black and white, and just, especially a book with no pictures, you've lost my interest after page 2, because you need something to kind of suck you back into it,
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. If you read a book and if you watch a movie on the same book, you will remember the movie parts better than the book.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
That's
stuff.
what we try to achieve from this power vocabulary.
Right, nice. Now tell us, how do you see the role of technology in enhancing education, particularly in terms of language learning and vocabulary development?
Yes, as I said, the technology as at this point of time is just a helpful tool to gather the information, assimilate, analyze, and pass it on to you. But it is not creating the interest, as I'm saying, um, every now and then. It has to generate the interest. It has to tell the story about that book. It has to tell the story about that information. Then otherwise, it will be treated as just an information tool. It has to pass on the knowledge in a best possible way where a student can understand. And that's where I think technology is taking a shape right now in that manner. So just passing on the information what you ask for, it has to limit its restriction to generate the curiosity. So why a sparrow jumps on its feet and why the crow walks? So these kind of questions, it's answers to your center of gravity of the body. So this kind of knowledge, if they assimilate with examples, pictorial, technology will play a big role in this sector.
Right. It's funny because you need to have like emotion, feeling, and all of that, which is what pictures do drive. Like anytime I hear a song on the radio, we always play a game like, what year was it? I always can tell you what I was doing, where I was at in my life when that song came out. I can tell you what year it was. But just because hearing something doesn't, and same with school, everything that I was taught with all my years of school, I attribute it to what class I was in, what I was doing, what my emotion was during that time. Not what I read out of a book. That just has no impact in my brain, but
Yes.
telling, who was there, what was like, the visual in my head is what makes me remember what I learned. Has nothing to do with what I read in the book. And technology can give you the facts and whatnot, but you need
Yes.
something a little more to basically have your brain absorb it,
Yes, sir. And technology will play a big role, differentiate between a good teacher and a better teacher.
Yeah.
So good teachers are all the teachers are good teachers. They are well qualified, equally eligible, they have equal content, equal knowledge. But better teacher does something different. He added his flavor. And technology is shaping up that way possibly. And
Baby
that's
steps. Yeah.
yes, baby steps. Yeah.
Nice. Now tell us, what challenges did you face when developing Power Vocabulary, and how'd you overcome them to get where you are today?
There were two, three big challenges. One was definitely finding out the right pictures, and then the applied pictures for the same meaning or similar meaning, because they have to be universally applicable. Because vocabulary is not only one continent or one country specific, it goes globally. So if I say one word in, let's say for UK, it has to be very much verified and connected to the US client or India students. And that's the bigger task. Second bigger task also was to create the phonic sound, because we also tried to add an element of technology to teach them right pronunciation of those words.
Right.
And that's where the technologically not a human is playing, but the teacher is the technology is playing that sound.
Right.
And that we achieved to the 100%, I believe. Those were the challenges.
That's very good, because I see even with a lot of like these, for example, when you do the transcription, it's all AI. And it's funny when you read it, like I know what I said, but kind of whatever it came out with, it's, so it is hard. So if you've mastered that to 100%, kudos to you.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
Now, can you basically walk us through the process of how Power Vocabulary works and how users maximize its potential?
Yeah, any student can buy the Power Vocabulary module. It has divided into 8 parts, basically. Each part is divided into 5 weeks. So every week they will remember around 20 to 30 words in each module. And after the 5th week, the 4th week is done. After the 5th week, we have given the assessment.
Okay.
So that assessment takes the control of their understanding and application of the words around 100-200 words in a week.
Okay.
And that plays a big role in the process, because whatever they read, they have to also apply, they have to also assess, they have to score. And they can watch these videos again and again whenever they require. And it's a very fun loving, so people enjoy that. At the end of the year, possibly around 2,000 words are done.
Wow. Yeah, you should. Do you ever promote this to like schools and whatnot for them to incorporate into their teaching?
Yes, yes. We have taught to many schools now. Schools are loving this product.
Good, good.
And they're incorporating for their students.
Good.
Because see, there are many games available on technology for math, science, because it's very easy to display the facts from maths, like percentage problem or anything.
Right.
For English, there was nothing like this kind of thing available.
Right.
And that's why schools are loving this, because something is very fun oriented and at the same time knowledgeable product is available now.
Yeah. Well, it's tricky because some people are visual learners. Some people, some people like to read, some people like to watch, some people like to listen. So you're incorporating all of it, which is, you're killing everything. That's awesome. Yeah. Now tell us, what feedback have you received from users so far, and how's the feedback shaped the future development of your product?
Awesome. Actually, the schools have loved it. The teachers have given the feedback about the pronunciation. As I said, the accent has to be universal. So we tried to take the UK accent, but tried to make it universal. Pronunciation, we stuck to our phonics sound so that it is again a universal. Pictures, for some pictures, we got the feedback that this is not appropriate for the age group, so we had to change that. Otherwise, in and all, I think the 100% audience was very ecstatic, very happy.
Nice. Yeah, you always just say, I learned one thing, you're never going to please everybody. Everybody's always going to have something to say. But for them, I mean, even nowadays with audio, again, using AI, you can basically have it for each different, accent, each different, language, and pictures the same. I mean, trial and error. You see what works, what doesn't work, you tweak it along the way, and there's nothing wrong with that, doing case studies. And just a lot of times too, you get feedback from the kids, because the adults are always going to have an opinion. But sometimes the kids who are using it and learning from it, they'll tell you straight. They always say, if you want the truth, talk to a kid, because they don't hold back. They just tell you exactly what they want. I like this. I don't like this. So now tell us, as a CEO, what do you think is the most important quality for leaders in education tech to possess? And how do you embody that in your role?
Yeah, I personally believe, because I'm also into health tech, fintech, everything. The leaders from education industry have a bigger responsibility, because the kind of flood we are seeing with EdTech product and online exposure to the current students, the education touches the life. Education shapes the life. Whatever they learn, they apply in their life. And that's where the bigger moral, ethical responsibility lies with the EdTech leader. I believe so.
Yeah.
And that's why they have to be very conscious on what they are supplying, what tools they are making out, what kind of exposure they are giving it to the current generation, and what kind of knowledge. Will it be applicable in their life, or will it be taking them on a different thought process? It's a big responsibility.
Yeah. No, I like it, in the interaction, because, nowadays every kid has an iPhone, every kid, is on YouTube, and they want to be entertained, they want to have fun. So mixing it in a way that they're actually getting something positive from it, as opposed to just silly nonsense that they're watching on YouTube, that's like a huge, advantage. They think they're having fun, like I remember in school, just little contests that we had. Now, in hindsight, as an adult, I'm like, how silly was that? But to us, it was fun. And you had no clue you were actually learning along the way, because you thought you were playing, but we were having fun. And that's stuff that sticks with me. But again, all the stuff that I read in the textbook, I forgot about that 5 minutes after I read it. But something that I did and had fun doing it, that basically, and especially with pictures, I mean, how many kids, that's one of the first things before they're even writing, they're drawing their little scribble, and they like doing that because it brings out things in them, so I love it.
Absolutely correct. Spot on.
Yeah. Now tell us, how do you envision the future educational products like PowerVocabulary? And what role do you see the company playing in that future?
Yeah. We at Champs Learning believe that any form of teaching is constructive and you can build skills. Right. But if we combine the old methods with the new one, we can build the skyscrapers. Our videos are a modern version of flashcards. So we use flashcards kind of thing because kids will love it. Using visual memories also to be able to associate the word. Only we also give the meaning. pronunciation, and collocation.
Right. Yeah, it's funny, the flashcards, because I use them with my grandkids too. And even things with the flashcards, they love the pictures. And even like the memory games where you turn the pictures upside down, you have like 50 pictures and you turn them up and they're just looking for the pictures. Now there's a letter on there too, but they're not paying attention to that. They want to see which pictures match, and again, it's a fun way of kids learning that they think they're playing a game. They have no idea that they're learning. Because if you tell them we're going to sit down and study, we're going to learn this, you've already lost them. If you tell them we're going to have fun, we're going to play a game, well, now you got their full attention and they want to win. It's amazing how the kids have that drive to win. They want to be perfect at it. Yeah, good stuff. So tell us, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs looking to enter the educational technology space, especially those focusing on language learning?
Yeah, again, I don't believe that only technology alone is sufficient, but it is a great part of today's world. And both the parents and particularly the children can relate to it. And that's where the today's entrepreneurs should understand it. That the today's generation is more tech savvy. They understand technology better. But at the same time, technology is not the only solution. There has to be a human element into it. There has to be emotional flavor to it. Then only they can relate to the human life. And I always say to my kids that our life was very different than your life. For fetching a cup of milk or a bottle of milk, we used to go out. For getting a newspaper, we had to step out to buy the newspaper. Now you get everything on a mobile.
Yeah.
So you don't go out, you don't see the human behavior, you don't see the human culture outside, you don't interact, you don't struggle. But you have better challenges, other challenges in fact. But these two have to combine for today's entrepreneur. That's what I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I say the same thing. Like when I was in college, I'm like, we didn't have computers. I had to physically go to the library, research, and you're reading outdated material. Now kids within 2 seconds are on their phone. They have, and now with AI, they're getting the answers to everything. And it's funny how the generations change. Anytime like I have an issue with my phone or whatever, I have to ask the younger generation, like, what's going on? Because they are a lot more tech savvy.
Absolutely.
But we always laugh that you're right. People don't go outside anymore. Like you tell a kid to leave your phone behind, go out for an hour, go play, go to the park, they have no idea what you're talking about. It's like they just and even going to the pool, they're all like this because their phone's up in the air. They don't want to get it wet. And it's like they're missing so much out there
I know.
to
Even if they have to meet we had to meet our friend, we had to step out, go to their houses and meet. Now, if they have to meet their friend, they are on the video call. That's
oh,
all.
it's insane. I mean, it's good and it's bad, but it does take away like the human element of everything.
Absolutely.
So, but I guess this is like a good way of telling everybody. And think of it this way, with the quicker you learn, the more time you have to go play. So just
Yeah, that's a good formula.
yeah. So I guess tell us what's next for Champs Learning. Like, are any new exciting new projects or initiatives we should be looking
Yes.
forward to in the
Yes.
future?
Yes. We have developed a lot of concept videos.
Okay.
We divide into two categories. One is academic videos,
Okay.
like teaching mathematics with the concept videos.
Nice.
Many products are available, but what we did is associated every video with a real life story.
Okay.
The kid is going with his mom in a shop. He sees oranges, but he doesn't want oranges. He wants apples.
Right.
So he says, "Mom, buy apple." She sees there is some discount available. Then how the teacher calculates discount. The student can relate to this kind of scenario because he goes to the shop with the mom.
Right.
So this kind of scenario we incorporate into the videos. And we did it for science. And the second category of concept videos we made it, lot of people, lot of kids have a lot of common questions.
Right.
Why the milk boils and it goes away from the utensil, but water doesn't spill over, but the milk boils and it spills over. Why there is a difference? So we created videos like this. Why iron rust? Why the birds don't get electric shock then when they are hanging on the electric wires?
Yeah.
So we created videos explaining this. Why my dad, when he comes back from his international journey, he feels a jet lag. What is a body clock?
Right.
So kind of videos are very interesting one. People are loving it right now. We just launched it in UK, London. So that's a product I think the next to go now.
Nice. I would love all that. I mean, I'm always that I would say that kid, that big kid, is always like, why? Like, I want to understand why. Like, things most people would just be like, just whatever it is. No, but I want to know why. Like, I'm fascinated. Like, teach me what we. So all those questions you mentioned, like, why don't birds get electrocuted? Stuff like this, I would love. And I think it will pique the interest of the kids, because sometimes kids just have questions that they would think was dumb. They don't want to ask. But you just say, ask anything, so, and it gives you info for future books. I think that's pretty amazing. Nice.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to add that we didn't talk about already?
Oh, thanks a lot for this opportunity. Actually, I could voice out my thoughts.
No, this is great. And then how can people find out about where to purchase this and all that good stuff? Or did you have like an email list and stuff?
We got an email, which info@powervocabulary.co.uk.
Okay.
And you can share that with them. You can share the info@charmslearning.co.uk. That's my main academy.
Okay.
And they can reach out to us.
I think it's awesome. And any other way you want people to get a hold of you?
They can call us on our number, which is a UK number, +44 020 3004 9007.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for being on the show. Again, that was Nishikant Kothikar. So thanks for listening to Real Conversations with Patricia. Never miss an episode by subscribing to the channel. Be sure to click the bell notification for future episodes. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Patricia.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Real Conversations with Patricia, talking with some of the most brilliant minds on their journey to success and their recommended strategies. Please leave your feedback and visit pristineadvisors.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Feel free to let me know your thoughts, suggestions, and anything else you'd like me to cover. Together, we can make success happen for all.